Last year, I made a video about the Ed O'Bannon case and why EA Sports had to cancel one of the biggest franchises in its history, NCAA football. The reason they had to cancel the series was because the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association, does not allow student athletes to be paid for their likenesses. What it means is that nobody can make college sports games ever again unless that law changes. News broke a few weeks ago that the state of California was going to allow college athletes to be paid. Even more recently, last week in fact, the NCAA made a ruling to allow student athletes to accept revenues from the licensing of their names, images, and likenesses. Michael Drake, chair of the NCAA's Board of Governors and president of The Ohio State University, said, "We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes." Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full cost of attendance and guaranteed scholarships. That's not enough, but it was only a matter of minutes before people all around the internet were tweeting, writing, and making videos about the return of EA's NCAA football games. Kirk Herbstreit, one of the most popular football celebrities on ESPN, quickly tweeted out that he has to get it done, and I've seen numerous examples of people shouting that NCAA Football 20 is now going to be a reality. As Lee Corso would say though, not so fast, sweetheart. The California ruling almost certainly influenced the NCAA's decision, but the changes to pay student athletes in that state would take effect in 2023 at the earliest. The NCAA board said it made its decision based on several months of college administrators, athletic directors, and student athletes themselves giving input. Even after the recently announced ruling, the group will continue to gather feedback through April of 2020 and then refine its recommendations and then create new rules governing commercial opportunities for student athletes no later than January 2021. Many people have taken that to mean that something will be done by early next year. That simply is not the case. The NCAA plans to have a plan ready for action by January of 2021, but that will only be the start of the process. They're still over a year away from even having an idea about what they're actually going to implement. The unanimous vote was to begin a process to permit students participating in athletics the opportunity to benefit from the use of their name, image, and likeness in a manner consistent with the collegiate model. The important part to pay attention to in that statement is the collegiate model. The current collegiate model is that athletes don't get paid. So they're saying that they are thinking about maybe considering letting student athletes benefit from their likenesses within their current model. That means precisely nothing. It's the same thing as saying you would think about thinking of a way to let people enjoy alcoholic beverages within the framework of prohibition. How is that even possible? It's not, and the NCAA isn't doing anything. They're talking about doing something. But when they say that the changes they might make are going to be in alignment with the current collegiate model, they're making it very clear that they are the ones in charge and that any changes to current laws will be made in a way that's consistent with their belief that student athletes should never be compensated for their performance in any way other than academic funding and scholarships. There's absolutely no statement from the NCAA that leads me or anyone with the ability to read to believe that NCAA football video games or any college sports games worth its salt are going to be released anytime within the next few years. I know many of you that watch our videos probably don't give a crap about college sports games, but what this is really about is the intersection of gaming and politics. EA is foaming at the mouth for an opportunity to bring back a multi-million-dollar franchise, and fans have been begging for the games to return since their cancellation in 2013. This is a huge deal for the gaming industry, and you better believe that 2K is going to chase this as hard as EA will. They're much larger and influential now than they were when this all started a few years ago. 2K College Basketball and EA College Football were in the same realm as yearly wrestling game releases, and while not as large as Madden or FIFA, the concept is the same. Overall, this is a positive change and things are heading in the right direction, but let's not lose sight of what's really happening here. Think about this. If you were on your college's basketball team, and Nike came to you offering millions of dollars to sign a shoe deal, you are absolutely not allowed to say yes. That's the reason that we see student athletes sacrifice the final few years of their college education to go pro. They can't make any money for playing sports while in college because it's against the NCAA's rules. So they leave behind a bachelor's degree to turn pro because they're scared of what would happen if they had a career-threatening injury. Then they're stuck with no money and no future, so they jump to the professional ranks as quickly as possible. A change to the NCAA's laws and procedures would affect hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and that's at the heart of the issue. The NCAA Board of Governors finally recognized that change is coming, and they need to adapt their rules to catch up with the times. We believe those rules must be changed to allow athletes to be compensated. The name, image, and likeness approach has its own challenges that we must address, and we'll be carefully reviewing the NCAA's next steps and working on ways Congress can reform college sports. That comes from Utah Senator Mitt Romney and Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Aside from that, I have to be honest here. This is also good for gamers, regardless of whether you like sports games. For fans of the series, we felt like something was stolen from us for years at this point. There's no one at fault other than the NCAA. EA and 2K would love nothing more than to bring these games back, but the NCAA hasn't been willing to play ball, and they've been set in their ways for a very long time. I'm incredibly excited that something is finally starting to happen, but everyone seriously needs to calm down and realize that's all it is. Something is starting to happen. Committees are going to be formed, and the NCAA will put a stranglehold on the entire process of changing this law. I agree with Kevin Wall of Syracuse's SB Nation blog when he said that he'd imagine they'll try to funnel everything through the school's compliance offices, hey, more administrators are going to be needed, and put money in trust tied to academic requirements. It's going to be a longer process than anyone would like, but the NCAA has not escaped the legislative spotlight, so hopefully the pressure will be kept on them to make the changes happen sooner rather than later. That's where we're at. The NCAA is going to look into making a change, and legislatures are going to keep the pressure on. But that doesn't mean there will be an NCAA football 20 or even 21. So calm down, everyone. I'd say NCAA football 2023 is the earliest we could see a return of college sports video games. Until then, we continue to wait on an institution stuck in their ways and who are unwilling to let student athletes benefit from their performance. And it's gonna be a long wait. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's different than our normal content, but I've been passionate about this entire ordeal since I was in college myself and found out the NCAA was taking one of my favorite games away from me forever. I made a video about this last year that has more information about the origins of the situation, so be sure to take a look at that if you would like to. We'll be back next week with more traditional CMG type content that you guys are used to. Be sure to share us on Reddit, don't forget to join the Discord, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.